Otis College of Art and Design presents How to Organize Your Work for Presentation with me, Roni Feldman. This video will demonstrate methods of matting your artwork for presentation. Proper presentation keeps the focus on your work and makes it look clean and worthy of professional consideration. Matting is a way of framing your works on paper that can help protect them from damage, make them easier to hang, and give them a more attractive appearance. While some art stores can cut mats, prices and order time can be an inconvenience. I will demonstrate a method here that requires a mat cutter, but if you do not have one, you can mimic the results using a metal ruler, utility knife, and a resilient surface such as a self-healing cutting mat. You will not be able to achieve the beveled edge of the mat cutter, but the results should be acceptable for most applications. If you choose to use a ruler and blade, make sure to cut with a metal ruler or straight edge to prevent your blade from jumping over and cutting your fingers. You may also wish to refer to the Otis College video, Building a 6-inch Cube, to learn more about proper cutting techniques. For either method, you will need a pencil, framer's tape, scissors, a paintbrush, a small jar of water, some notepaper to write on, a sheet of mat board, and a sheet of foam board for your backing. First, measure your artwork and make a note of it on your paper. This piece is 8 by 8 inches with a 1-inch white border extending beyond that. I want to cut my mat board to show only the design and not the border around it. Now you need to calculate the outer dimensions of your mat. There are no rules of thumb for border widths. For our purposes, we will keep all sides at 2 inches. That makes our outer dimensions 12 by 12 inches. So now we have our inner and outer dimensions. Next, measure and mark the outer dimensions using a light pencil on both your mat and your foam backing board. You can also use the rulers on your mat cutter as a guide. Take your time to measure and mark your boards accurately. Remember the old proverb, measure twice and cut once. An imprecise mark here will result in a misaligned cut on your board. This will require you to begin again with a new board, causing you to waste time and materials. Cut out your boards using the mat cutter. There are 2 types of blades. One is straight for cutting the outside of your mat, and the other is at an angle to cut the beveled inner frame. I am going to start with my foam backing board. Using your pencil lines as a reference, line up the metal guide rail. Use the straight cutter here. Extend the blade about 1 inch. And insert the blade until it goes to the bottom. Try to make the cut with consistent pressure as you pull across the board. Remove the scrap piece of board. Reposition your board for the next cut. Be sure to line up your reference lines. With the backing board cuts complete, I will make the same cuts to my mat board. Now you should have all of the outside dimensions cut. Retract the blade. I will be using the bevel cutter to make an angled edge along the interior window of my mat. Set up the mat cutter's guide. Now, set the mat cutter to 2 inches. Insert your mat board and use the guide rail. Mark your inner dimensions. Do this on the back of your board so the pencil line does not show up on the front. Repeat this on all 4 sides. When making a beveled cut, you must place a scrap piece of mat board in your cutter to protect the surface of the device. Attach the beveled mat cutter. Using your lines as a reference, line up the cutter and insert the blade until it goes to the bottom. Try to make the cut with consistent pressure as you pull across the board, and retract the blade. Repeat this on all 4 sides. Once you have all 4 sides cut, remove the window. Now you'll need your framer's tape, scissors, a paintbrush, and a small container of water. Use your framer's tape to create 3 hinges. Framer's tape requires a small amount of water to activate its adhesive. Line up your boards on a table, making sure that the insides are facing up. Then, use your framer's tape to create 3 hinges. Fold your board together and press shut to crease the tape. Now you will need to hinge your work of art to the mat. Cut 4 pieces of framer's tape, 2 half-inch pieces, and 2 1.5-inch pieces. The latter can be trimmed thinner. Wet half of them. Clean a space for your open mat board. Place your drawing inside your board with the top along the side with the hinges. Take your shorter pieces of framer's tape and attach the wet sides to the back of the top corners of your artwork. Make sure that the dry side of the tape is sticking out. Close your mat and position the artwork within the window. Open your mat board again, then use the thin 1.5 inch pieces to secure the tabs to the foam backing board. Close your mat to finish it. Occasionally, you may not wish to use a backboard, in which case you can tape your work of art directly to your mat board. While this is sufficient for many art classes, most professional exhibitions or framers require the use of a sturdy backboard. Matting provides a finished, professional, and safe presentation for your two-dimensional work.